the way fintech industry is shaping up in India, the size and scope of the same. We've really narrowed down some numbers for you. Let me just take you through some of them. So according to this report by NASSCOM and KPMG, the Indian fintech software market will reach $2.4 billion by 2020 from $1.2 billion currently, and the transaction value for the same will touch $73 billion by 2020 from $33 billion now. Some of the key drivers for this, of course, is going to be e-commerce, smartphone search, which is driving a lot of fintech. And as far as funding is concerned, the space is only getting a lot of interest day by day. I mean, even if you look at 2015 within Bangalore, you saw 11 fintech startups getting funded by VCs, and that trend is only going to go up. They've also highlighted some of the key themes that's really going to take shape as far as fintech is concerned. Some of these, of course, include next generation payments, which of course will be driven by UPI. The other themes flashing on your screen include the likes of peer-to-peer lending. We in fact have a startup in that space on the show today. Blockchain, bank in a box, Aadhaar, and biometrics and security. Those are really going to be some of the key themes to track as far as fintech is concerned. But in keeping with fintech, we have a big voice from a traditional bank, and we are talking about Kotak Mahindra Bank's Shanti Ekambaram, who really spoke to us about how Kotak will tap into the fintech opportunity. She also spoke about how they are currently working with startups in this space. Let's listen in.
Banks are the biggest payment ecosystem. All banks today have apps, right? And that's as good as a wallet in terms of making payments. So what's happening is fintechs are trying to put innovation and technology to come up with solutions, and they are agile and fast-growing. Banks are revamping themselves, to look at how they can provide customer experience on the whole mobile, which is what the main form factor is. At the same time, how can they partner with the fintech industry, collaborate to look at how do you digitize end-to-end processes, put out some APIs to see what are the new. So banks actually are turning incubators and with the technology firms to see how can we work together. So if you look at the whole space, there are a zillion startups, more than 10,000 as I understand, or 12,000 startups. There's a lot of investment flowing in. But the ecosystem is getting very interesting, because as between the government, which wants to push a cashless economy, which wants to push financial inclusion, regulators who are willing to be supporting, investors who are willing to put money, and banks and financial services who are saying, okay, let's see how we can partner to make this whole ecosystem thing.
What is Kotak's plan as far as engaging with that ecosystem of fintech startups?
Firstly, just with this NASSCOM 10,000, we've been partnering for the last 2 years. So we have run what we call the Appathon, where we called a lot of the mobile app developers to see how can you work with banks. Then we had the Hackathon, which is again involve a lot of developers. We also have set up an innovation lab in Bangalore, where we work with the startup ecosystems. So our whole approach, and this is more than 2 years old, so this is not yesterday, has been how can we work with this ecosystem to get ideas that can help scale, because we've got the customers, we've got the base, they've got the ideas, and they've got the speed to market. How do you match and marry this? So we've been working with this whole ecosystem, and a number of ideas that we have thought, we have implemented, including in some of our products and services, has been partnering. So we believe that this is an ecosystem that we need to partner. We have worked, nurtured them, and going forward, we will see how further we can partner them.
All right. Also, what else is would you look to do, as far as expanding your own presence goes, in terms of payments bank, et cetera, because we've seen Paytm get a payments bank license, online fintech players. How would you chart your course going forward in that respect?
I've already talked about the what we do in the fintech space and how I see BFSI and fintech going, right? As far as the payment banks are concerned, in fact, banks can work with all the payment banks, because payment banks can take deposits only up to 1 lakh. They can't lend. So, and they will have a base of customers. How can banks help distribute, lend, and do a collaborative ecosystem as far as that is concerned? At Kotak, we have a small investment in one of the payment banks, and we will see how the whole space evolves. I think what is important is, as between the payment banks and the small finance banks that are coming in, one would see the mass market. open up.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.